raring to go. I'll bring us in here. This is Sean, and welcome to Almost Podcast. Here with Colton and Michael.
What's up?
And today we're gonna talk about anime. Essentially, that's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Yeah, I know we've talked about it a bit, like just kind of in passing right before, but we've
definitely mentioned shows,
Shokugekis
and stuff like that. But I think it's cool because it's one of the things that we initially started bonding over in a way.
Yeah.
Our friendship's backbone is anime.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Well,
my brother.
Yeah.
Because Colton, when I met you, we talked. We were like, "Oh, you watched anime too," and at the time, I had been like watching a lot of anime, and I didn't.
Yeah.
You know how when you meet somebody, at least when we were talking, it's like you don't want to be the anime person.
Yeah, I understand
it's
that.
a lot better now, I think. But I was like, oh, cool. What have you seen?
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to be like, oh, have you seen this thing? But then, you'd seen some stuff that not your average person would.
Yeah.
Your like Dragon Ball Z person would
right.
see
Yeah. A little bit more in depth than that. So yeah.
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 And then we met Michael, and Michael was originally I'm not gonna watch anime.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yep. I was.
Threw him down the rabbit hole with us.
This was like during the time when anime just started to become like somewhat mainstream.
Yeah,
it was
it's like when Attack on Titan was hitting its stride, I feel like, around this time, and anime started really getting more popular. Yeah,
because I think it was season 2, because we watched season 2 sophomore year, I'm pretty sure is when it came out.
I think so. I think you're right.
Well, I mean, we did the watch parties. I think we talked about this a bit.
Well, was that the first one that you'd watched with you? Because
we had watched previous ones, that weren't airing currently. We just let's take a look at this. But Attack on Titan was the first one we watched weekly. And I remember you coming over every week because Colton and I were rooming together, and we could come over every single week and just sit down on the futon and watch Attack on Titan live.
But I know even freshman year, like we sat down and watched an anime with you, and I'm trying to remember what that one was.
It was ReZero. We watched ReZero together.
Was it ReZero?
I thought that was actually
the first
the one that
you
got
saw?
Mike really into anime because we watched that. I thought that was beginning of sophomore year.
This thing's bloody.
Yeah, it was wild. That was a very good show.
I think
very
it's because
memory watching that show.
And that's what brought me into it, because I didn't when I thought of anime before, right? I thought of like Dragon Ball Z or Naruto and Bleach, that's
like
what
Bleach,
I've heard.
the big three kind of thing.
Classic shonen anime.
Classic shonen. And I never thought,
which is
this
like
can be dark.
The guy's power.
Yeah, this can be dark and edgy.
Great medium.
Yeah,
brutal. It's absolutely brutal.
Yeah,
and it shows like strife and struggle in a way that I think a lot of live actions struggle to do.
Absolutely.
ReZero specifically.
Yeah, especially fantasy elements too. It's hard to lose yourself in some of the CGI, whereas anime can capture a very fantastical world super easily.
Yeah,
it's all
and it
drawings.
really expresses certain emotions.
Yeah, emotional
really well.
expression.
It allows you to I think it's the term is caricaturization, where it's it allows you to express emotions at a heightened state, and so that mirror effect that on the viewer is oh my gosh, this is even more heightened than you can get from something like live action. And so
we were already nerds, so it wasn't a huge stretch to go and watch more anime. So.
Right.
Well, to be fair, I did see when I was a kid Avatar: The Last Airbender, which some people consider an anime, some people don't.
The big debate.
Whether
or not
that is a big debate. But that was kind of, I guess, my first foray into that.
Yeah.
But obviously it was minor, and I didn't get into any of the big three. And then once I hung out with you guys, boom, and then
explosion down the rabbit hole you go.
Yeah, and I think at this point I've seen more than Colton. I have not seen more than Sean, definitely not. But I think Colton, I have surpassed you when it comes to
you have definitely surpassed me, Mike. I'm pretty confident.
Becomes the master.
All right. Well,
so because of that, I thought it'd be cool to do an anime 3x3, and as those have been a little popular recently, made a little bit of a resurgence. And I've never done one. I thought it'd be kind of cool to to really take a deep dive for myself, internally at least, of what to me is a formative anime to me, or what would go on a 3x3. And for those who don't know, a 3x3 is 3x3 picks of whatever your topic is. In our case, anime. So I think all of us had maybe different reasonings or what we put on our 3x3 or why we put it on. So as we go through that, I want to hear what your guys' reasonings and your logic behind putting it is.
Yeah, there's definitely
the pick on was.
There's definitely a couple I can tell that are like, this is probably going to be on all three of ours. I have a couple that I'm like,
Yeah,
there's some that are not on mine that you would think would be.
Yeah, it's very true.
We'll see.
I have
I'm
one that I
wondering
think
if
would
we're
be on
gonna
yours.
have
I
a
want to see if it's on there. We'll see though.
I wonder if we will have a show that's on all three of ours. I don't know, honestly.
I definitely think so.
You think
I
so?
think we will.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I can think exactly what it is, but
Yeah.
we'll get there.
We'll get there, yeah.
So I
don't
think
know.
we can jump right into it, and I think and we've not seen each other's 3x3s here. We all
Correct.
made them and prepared them for today, so we're gonna share our screens and see them all live and read them all off and then kind of go through them. I think
Get the live reactions
So-
here, yeah.
live reactions. I think Colton, you were gonna go first.
Yes. So do you guys have any estimates for what kind of anime that I'm going to put on my 3x3? For those who don't know, yeah, as we kind of went through, I'm the most, I have watched the least amount of anime.
Yeah.
So I've watched a decent amount of popular shows. I watched a lot of stuff with the boys here, but there's a few surprises in mine.
I think one of them is going to be Code Geass, because that's
Okay.
the one that you were like, when we first started watching anime, you're like, you need to watch this.
Yeah, I agree.
And we watched it together. And you're like, you need to
Yeah.
watch this. Let's watch it together. And we did that. Exactly.
Okay.
And I think at the time I had seen it already, but
Yeah.
I had watched it again.
Okay.
It was really good. And then I think you were a Naruto guy. Naruto guy, weren't you? I think you did watch that as a kid, right? Or is that a different show?
I did watch it as a kid. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's going to be on there because it makes sense that it'd be a formative thing.
Trying to
if that's
stay
your
as
reason.
neutral
But
as possible. I'm not trying to give you any clues. But
Yeah.
Only the facts.
I think Attack on Titan's probably going to be
Yeah,
there.
that's the one I
Okay.
think is going to be on all of ours.
Okay.
So we'll keep it.
And then I don't know if I could guess any more. Maybe ReZero, I could say.
Okay.
All right,
Mike,
well,
you got any
let's,
extra
But
extra
let's see
things?
it. I want to see it.
No,
You
yeah,
wanna
I want to
see
see
it?
it.
I don't think so.
All right.
Let's go.
All right.
Share that screen.
Gonna share my screen here. All right, here it is, boys. So
Oh, okay.
first, so I'll go
really?
from top left across, and I'll go
I don't even know
row
what
by
that
row.
one is.
So top left is Death Note. Second is Code Geass. We got Steins Gate up next, and then starting on the middle row to the left is Death Parade. Then we got
Death
Naruto, Attack on Titan.
That's what it was. Okay,
Yeah,
was it right?
and then we have bottom left is Bobo Bobo.
Yes.
I have no idea what
Yeah.
that is.
We got Bunny Girl Senpai, and we have Spice and Wolf for the last one.
All
Are there
right.
any that pique your
Yeah, there's-
interest that you want me to go through
mean,
here?
Bobo, I
Yeah.
have no idea what that is. I know I've heard the name, but I don't know what that is.
So Bobo is kind of funny. So I watched two shows technically when I was young. I watched Naruto and I watched Bobo. Because my cousin was really into Bobo. And this is when did you guys ever watch Toonami back in the day? They had anime at from 9
maybe.
to 10 p.m.
I know
every
exactly what you're
night.
talking about. Well, it wasn't Code Geass. You told me that Code Geass, that's where you also watched Code Geass too, right?
No, I watched Naruto and Bobo on Toonami. This was a Cartoon Network thing. So it was how I watched my weekly anime. I had to wait a week to watch one episode of Naruto every week. But I also watched Bobo on Toonami for a while there when they were airing it. And it was the funniest stuff when I was a kid.
What's it about? What do they?
I actually
just
don't know.
episodic?
So the guy with the main character's the guy with the big yellow afro, the big muscular guy, and his power is his mustache can elongate and acts as a weapon to hit other people.
Okay.
It's a comedy, and it's one of those
I think
oh, what was that?
also I should preface before we start fully talking about that, we're gonna definitely get into spoilers for these shows, whatever we talk about.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
That's a good preference.
So if you don't want to hear that, skip it.
We'll try to be good with saying major spoilers if a major spoiler pops up. For
Yeah,
Bobo,
like
I don't
this.
think there's anything I could spoil. I'm not really sure.
How about if you're gonna say a major spoiler, say you're gonna say a major spoiler.
Yeah, so we can.
Just ahead of time.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I just wanted to mention that real quick.
Yeah. But yeah, for Bobo, I don't really actually know the point, but this is when this is my first experience with like the comedy genre, quote unquote. Like I liked this was when I was like 8 to 10 years old. Like the characters would get like really, really like freaked out. You know how they like there'd be a scene and a character will just pop out from the screen with like a really like crazy face or whatever and like commentate on how nuts whatever happening is happening. And when I was a kid, I just thought that was the funniest stuff ever. Like I was dying.
It looks super Japan.
Yeah, it does.
Show.
It's like there's probably a word for it, but I just thought it was absolutely hilarious. Like it was like next level hilarity. Like I was just watching SpongeBob, and then like this show came along. I'm like, dude, this is like out of my wildest imagination. Like
next level comedy.
Yeah.
The stuff that they were thinking of and the wildest stuff that was happening, it was just absolutely insane. Like just the stuff, like the randomness of it was really, really funny. And I really like that now. I like randomness now and like just shows in general. But I think this show was like, it just blew my mind as a kid. Just didn't know you could get that random. Like I thought SpongeBob was random when I was a kid. This show was on another level. And it was like...
That makes me want to check it out now.
Yeah, it was... I think I tried watching an episode or two recently. And it was very like... I didn't find it as funny just because I think it just felt very childlike to me now. Now I just like the serious anime, right? But it was such a blast. I would be crying. I'd be laughing so hard watching this show. And I don't know, as you can see it's like the blue dude's like a jelly guy. He's like made of jelly or something.
Yeah.
The orange guy.
There's like an M&M down by his waist.
Yeah, he's weird. He's got some weird power. He's like a sun. He can like activate the power of the sun or something.
Looks totally like a girl.
Yeah, I don't know. And then like there's a guy with like the ice cream poop head on the upper right.
Sure.
I think that's a poop. I think it's supposed to be a poop head or something like that. I don't know.
Oh no.
But that's the show I have like the least amount of memory on. But like it had such like an impact. Like I was like, oh, this is Japan. This is like extremely funny. But then the other side of it was Naruto, which was the actual like it's like the core of my anime foundation, which is why I have it in the center, very metaphorically, right? And this is a show. Like I said, I watched on Toonami, and I watched it weekly, every week for like years. Seriously, when I was in like fourth grade,
it's still going.
It's still going. Yeah,
well, I guess
Boruto's going now, but
yeah,
I remember, when they were airing this on Toonami, I was watching, and slightly big spoilers for Naruto, but not since it's so old. But it was like the main protagonist Naruto, and then like his best friend or whatever, Sasuke, had their first big fight. I don't know.
They fight? Yeah. One guy goes evil or something?
Yeah, Sasuke turns kind of evil, and he like he runs away, then Naruto goes after him, and then they like have a big like climactic fight, which was epic to like watch like that live.
I think I saw that fight like on YouTube or something.
Yeah, it's a good fight, but could you imagine like this is like the classic or typical like shonen anime, like with all these filler episodes. The like blue balls I got up to that fight was absolutely insane. Like Naruto's like they had like entire episode or two before the fight where like one of the teachers is trying to catch him down. It's just him like internally monologuing while he's trying to find them. It's like after
the curse
they
of all shonen animes, you know, long running shonen animes. The filler.
Yeah, it was so hard. It was like Naruto and Sasuke like met. And then it was like 3 episodes later when they actually started fighting. And it was like, it was hurt. It hurt so much to get through that. But that was also like when they actually did fight, it was like super, super cool. And I was like, oh my God, this is like the best show ever. It's like epic. I don't know, like best friends fighting. I don't know how to feel because they give you like the both
I'm so
perspectives.
conflicted inside.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my fists to talk it out.
Yeah. When I was a kid, me and my brother actually were really into Naruto as well. We buy all the video games for it. So I bought a lot of the Wii video games for it and PlayStation video games. And like one Halloween, I dressed up as Sasuke. And I think my little brother was Naruto because I like Sasuke and he liked Naruto.
Nice.
And yeah, it was just like, I feel like a lot of people can like relate to it if they were like really obsessed with like a superhero character when they were younger.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they really like Spider-Man or Superman, but mine was just Naruto. Like I really, really like Naruto. And for me, it was like,
I can see that.
It was way more relatable because all the characters I think were like 12 as well, 12, 13.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Naruto is like 12.
Well, they grew up in a school like from kids.
Yeah, yeah. So that was like super epic. I was super into Naruto. And then basically I got all the way to where I finished Naruto, and then it went to like Naruto Shippuden when he's like another year or two older. And I didn't watch any of that because it was like too hard to watch. Toonami stopped airing it. And then just like, I couldn't get a hold of it anymore.
Find it anywhere?
Yeah, and I wasn't into like digging for it online. I didn't really know how to find good websites. And I was really afraid of getting like a virus if I tried to look it up or something. So I never actually ended up watching Naruto Shippuden. I ended up trying to buy the video games, but it wasn't the same. So
would you go back and watch it, or?
I don't know if I would. I watched a lot of the fights on YouTube, which seemed really good. But knowing that it's so fillery and so like, I don't know, I really like shows that kind of get to the point, and that's why I really like, getting into the other shows that I'll on my 3x3. It's like there's not filler. It's just like gets to the point, and I kind of got over the whole fillerness of it after Naruto.
Yeah.
Because I think.
Gotcha.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about modern shows. I feel like they don't do that anymore. I'm trying to think of
there's
like the
less
modern
long format shows now. Like there's less long run episodic shows. It's like 12 or 24 in a season. Get to the point.
What, One Piece is like the only of the big three that are kind of still running.
Going. And it's like Boruto's going, but I kind of consider that a different series now because it's Naruto's son, and it's completely
also,
different.
I heard it's not that great, as Sean was saying.
Yeah.
Oh well. To each their own. I'm sure there's people will fight you on that.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Do you guys know? So Bobobo and Naruto are my first two shows. That was like when I watched those when I was 8 years old. And then I didn't like really watch another anime till high school. Do you guys know, or could you guess what the next anime I watched was?
I don't know about Code
I'm guessing Spice and Wolf or Steins Gate.
No. So the next anime that I think was truly a turning point for my anime tastes. I watched Attack on Titan next.
Really? That was the next one?
Yep. So Attack on Titan really like that was the big turning point, because that's when I learned, okay, every episode can add something to the story here.
Yeah. It's like real.
I don't even know why I started watching it, because I think I was a sophomore in high school when it started airing. I was literally like 16 years old. And I like just started watching some of it, and it was like completely addicting. And I just watched like the entire first season like within like 2 weeks or something like that, which is probably not actually a lot of time, but for me it was a lot because I didn't like binge watch shows or anything.
Oh, absolutely. And I guess during that time there's no Netflix when that's binge culture wasn't a thing.
Yeah,
that's true.
So that was like, I fell in love with that show, and it was like, wow, okay, now we got to wait for the next season. I didn't really understand the concept of like having to wait for another season, because Naruto was just a weekly airing thing, and then Shippuden continued on, but I just never watched it. And now I was like, I can't believe I have to wait. Like I have to wait years.
It is similar to, live action at that point where you're like, okay, I finished the season of Survivor or whatnot.
Yeah.
When the next season's going to be in a year or two.
Well, but you knew it was going to be
Attack on Titan wasn't that.
Attack on Titan, it's like, there's no scheduled release date. I'm like, how can they not? This is a great show. How do you just not do a season 2?
Yeah.
So and we could talk more about it with you guys, because I'm assuming one of you, at least Mike, I think you'll have it on there. Sean, maybe you'll have it on there.
Who knows? Can say.
But like great show, super mainstream. A lot of kids in high school started wearing some, it's
like the new gateway anime.
Yeah, the new gateway anime, and it was kind of cool.
As opposed to
some people made fun of you if you watched it, but like I feel like if you saw it, you were like, you understood why people watched it.
Yeah.
And then of course, so I watched Death Note after that, because I was like, anime is good. Anime is really good.
I'm
gonna watch another good show. And I think Death Note was like one of the easiest to get access to, because it was on YouTube. I watched like all of the show on YouTube.
Yeah. Back in the day,
I did not know that.
You do like the part by part.
Yeah, you do like
YouTube.
a part by part thing. And I was just like, anime is great. I need to get more of this. So Death Note was the next one that people were like, it's really
such a good show. Oh yeah, really. I mean, like, especially the first half is just hardcore like drama, detective work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I forget why I picked it.
Everything an edgy teen could want, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I will rule the world.
I will rule the world.
With my smarts, you know.
Yeah. But like, yeah, it was obviously a really good story. I did like the cat and mouse game. Became pretty addicted to that. I was like, wow.
Oh yeah.
This is lit. It was super intense. Which eventually, after I watched Death Note, that's what got me into Code Geass. Because I was classic, like, finished
What can
Death
follow
Note.
this up?
What is the like evolution? What's like what's like Death Note? Code Geass was mentioned, and then that is my favorite anime, probably of all time. Super subjective, just because I feel like that sealed the deal with anime for me. It was like
Really
amazing,
Okay.
fantastic.
Then why isn't that in the center of your 3x3?
Why isn't it, or why is it?
Yeah. Death Note,
Why
right?
Yeah. Well, Code Geass is the centerpiece.
Code Geass is the favorite.
Yeah,
Oh,
Code
yeah.
Geass is the favorite. Yeah. I just felt like it did Death Note but better, because I didn't like Death Note's ending. I really
And it
really
had
liked Code
mechas,
Geass,
so
and it really really surprised me because it was like mecha, and I was like, mecha, it's like Voltron and stuff. I don't know. It seemed I didn't like that a whole lot, but no, it was like super awesome. Really dug it. Super lot of twists. It was like Death Note, but just longer and more twists and stuff.
Yeah.
And I also watched it with my brother. I watched like the entire thing with my brother, which was really cool because like Code Geass at that point, or at least up to until watching Code Geass, I haven't like gotten emotional with an anime. But like I watched this show and I was like, dang, there's a lot of like death. There's a lot of like just unfairness going on. And
yeah,
me and my brother were like, wow, we like feel emotional after watching this show.
I feel something.
Yeah,
I
like we
haven't felt
feel
before.
something, like especially after the ending. We're like, dang, that was a lot. That was a pit in my stomach.
The ending hits hard,
I
man.
mean, that's one of the best endings of any show, real or animated, I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
I think, like, just the payoff, and the plan and the plot, it works so well.
Yeah,
And I think it really does hit you.
Yeah, I really
absolutely.
want to rewatch it because I think, I don't know, it was just a great time. I liked all the characters. I really liked the dichotomy between like Lelouch and Suzaku, because they were like kind of friends but like going at each other, and it was like, this is great. This is so complex.
Friends and enemies, then frenemies. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like Naruto and Sasuke.
Naruto and Sasuke, yep. But it was like an evolution. It was like, this is like more political now, and it's like, it's so much more than just like Sasuke wants power, so he's turning evil because he wants power. It was a little bit more like it was just a little bit more grounded, I guess. Maybe, I don't know what you'd say or
and
use to
more
describe
evolved from
it.
like you were 17, 18 when you watched that, right?
Yeah, it was a very good time to watch it because like my maturity had grown, and then I was just learning anime could still do it for me. It was like,
yeah, right.
especially after like I watched Attack on Titan, then Death Note, then Code Geass, like right in a row, like pretty close together. It was just like A+ after A+ after A+. It was great. But then
Absolutely. What was the next one? Yeah.
the next one I watched, I think, and this is when I started watching a decent amount of other shows, so it wasn't like a lot of those were like right together. That was like basically first 5 anime I watched is like Bobobo, Naruto, Death Note, Code Geass, and Attack on Titan. But then we got into, I remember did we watch Steins Gate together?
Yeah,
I think we watched it.
I thought we watched that. Didn't we watch that freshman year?
We might have. That might have been a freshman year anime.
I think that was another show that I had already seen, but then I was like, you guys got to check this out.
I think you're right, Sean. It was really good. It was just like, it was, I guess, feeding off my... Oh, go ahead, Sean.
Steins Gate. I don't want to interrupt your 3x3, but I love Steins Gate. It's unique. It's so unique from a lot of other animes, and it does time travel well.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was like
Which
the first
not a
time
lot of
travel
things
show.
real or anime could do.
Yeah, it was like the first time travel show that didn't have a ton of plot holes. Like, it felt very well done. I didn't know what was going to happen because it did look very dreary, so I wasn't expecting like an optimistic output or kind of outcome. So it was very like how I love shows where it's like, even if you do kind of know like, oh, this character is probably going to get through this, you have no idea how they're going to get through it. Like, you like are like, gee, this is the worst situation. Like, what are you gonna have
dude.
to sacrifice to get through it?
Yeah, her.
Yeah, I mean the amount of sacrifice in
the
Steins
toot-toot-oo
Gate.
still gets me every single time you hear that. I'm like,
Yeah,
ooh,
shit.
that hits me to the core,
Yeah.
man. Toot-toot-oo.
I hate that.
Yeah.
It's so like, and even watching it, like, oh, this happy thing, and then just a simple phrase or a simple thing someone says just can mean so much more. And,
Yeah.
and Steins Gate really, really shows that, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
My only problem with Steins Gate is the build up is it takes a while, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like it
You
can
have
take
to
a while
really-
to
But
get
I
to
think
get
it was
going.
always a slow show, and I think there's no filler per se. It's just a very slow build.
You gotta
Yeah,
like
like,
trust
absolutely.
it.
personally.
Yeah, you gotta like
Yeah,
go with the
that's
grind.
it. Yeah, it doesn't
Which-
have like the same. I guess they really refined the formula. I think for modern shows where it's like, okay, after the third episode, right? Well, what's the rule? It's after 3 episodes, you either
drop it or keep
drop
going.
or keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they really that's like kind of before that where you have to because I think it's episode only like 6 or 7 is when it really like okay everything all the dots start connecting and you're like
I mean, they don't start time traveling until like,
yeah
way
Yeah.
later in the show.
Yeah, and it was like I'm glad I watched it with you guys because it was like it might have been hard to like watch alone for me. Like I don't know, it would have been hard for me to keep going with it. Also,
Totally.
I'm really surprised we actually did watch this show pretty drunk because this was like a hard to follow show if
Yeah.
you're like drinking, and we drank I think most of the time we watched the show. So
But not excessively during this
Not
show. 'Cause I'm like, we
excessively.
need to focus on this,
yeah,
I think.
but yeah, that was a really good one. What's the next one on this? I think
I'm surprised Death Parade's on here.
Yeah,
Death Parade
same.
was
personally.
awesome, dude. I love Death Parade. Death Parade was like
I
such
really liked it too.
such a good like snack. Like 12 episodes, short and sweet, tells a good story, and then you're done. I didn't feel like I actually wanted more out of it. Like I really, really enjoyed the 12
It was
episodes.
episodic
in there.
too.
Yeah, it was episodic. Like there was kind of a story in the background, but
Yeah, a little bit of like a universe building, but
yeah,
not
it's
too much.
so
It's this girl in purgatory essentially.
yeah, it's so vague, and I liked it. I like that it could be really vague about its world building, and then still be super interesting and not leave me like, well, what? Like there wasn't any like crazy plot holes to me that stuck out. Mm-hmm. It was really emotional too. It just like explored it tried to explore at least the dark side of humanity, or like the good and bad or like just a bunch of different areas, I guess, of humanity. Like there's a lot of beauty in humanity, and there's a lot of like really fucked up shit in humanity.
Yeah,
And
I think it has one of the best soundtracks of any anime I've ever seen.
that opening, man,
dude, the opening is
amazing,
fantastic, dude. And it's so I also love how the opening is just not like to theme with the show. The show's pretty depressing,
yeah.
but the opening's
even
so
like the-
hype.
Even like the soundtrack, like the orchestral soundtrack, it's just like I would listen to that while I was studying sometimes.
Yeah, they have
It's so like calm and chill and slight jazz vibe.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, the characters were all super likable, even though you didn't see them for that long. There's just a lot of depth to them, and very, I don't know, really liked how I could get so much out of a show in so little time. So I want to rewatch it.
That's right. It was only 12
rewatch it.
episodes. Yeah, it was really quick, and
Yeah.
they did a great job of building. I guess you could call it the world in that period of time, right? Like I felt like by the third episode, I knew exactly how this world operated and kind of the internal workings of it fairly well without having to like, be, this giant, epilogue of. They didn't really even have any exposition or anything like that.
Yeah, which is
No,
nice
it's just
because
like
anime.
this is what's going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're just in the middle of it.
Yes. So next, I'll go through the next ones pretty quick because I know we got to get to you guys. So
That's fine. We got
we got tons of time, man.
What Bunny Girl Senpai? So
I'm actually kind of
I
surprised.
feel like that's
I
kind
am
of
too.
surprising. I just like the show a lot. Like I don't really have
a really good
reason.
show.
It's just like this show. I haven't watched anything like it since, but I know there's a lot out there that's very similar to it, and I want to dive into more of that kind of genre. I just really like I don't know, this dude just going around helping some girls out. It was just
I
fun.
went into that show expecting one thing and getting something totally different.
Yeah,
Totally.
For anyone who's seeing the 3x3 like title block there, definitely it's not anything about that. Like, It looks like just a what?
It's just like a cute girl on the cover.
Yeah.
And then what you get is like this quantum physics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Relationship builder.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really weird.
I like how it ties. To me, it reminds me a lot of like I think if you guys have all seen Bakemonogatari or the Monogatari series, and how that kind of like ties in with both the themes of kind of like the mental illness or like just people just going through shit in life, and it was kind of felt like that, right? Whereas like, all right, the quantum physics, right, was just an allegory for my or each of the different characters going through kind of just shit in their own life and having to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, there was just some really deep and like I don't know the right way to describe them, but just deep things going on in that show. I mean, they showed a lot of like mental illness or just like the rough parts of society or being a kid.
Just and it didn't like over dramatize it either. It was like, this is how it feels, and it's subjective, and it's like,
and they also show a guy and a girl within like a healthy relationship.
Yes, and by episode
as opposed to so many other things,
it was like they were already in a relationship. So I felt totally, and
one that felt realistic and was like, oh, they're actually a good couple.
Yeah, like Absolutely. They actually fit well together, and it's very realistic. Yeah, just a great show. I want to find more like it. I guess, is there anything you guys think is similar to it but better or has a similar vibe?
Bakemonogatari or the Monogatari series, I think, has a pretty similar vibe. Although obviously you have to deal with Shaft, and they have a very unique animation style. And I think Sean, you've watched the entire series, right? I've only watched about half of it.
I'm shy of the first the last 3 seasons, but
okay. Because I watched Bake and Nisei and Neko Monogatari. So yeah. In the movie,
I've seen 5 or 6. There's 9.
Yeah, I want it. That's a series I do want to watch as well. But I feel like you have to be in a mood to watch that. It's really deep, isn't it? Yeah. Isn't that really
you need to be able to pay attention because there's a lot of reading, and it's quick, and it's like lightning fast.
Okay. Yeah, it makes me kind of want to watch or read the light novel or something. They have light novels, right?
I was thinking about.
I was like, I feel like that's a good book to read, almost over the anime. I know the anime is good, but.
The anime's good to see. You gotta watch it, at least.
Okay. And then, finally, we got Spice and Wolf. Best girl. I guess maybe to Mike. This was also just a really fun show. I feel like what would you call Spice and Wolf? Is it like a romance, technically? It's technically a romance, right?
It's an economy simulator.
With
it's economics with romance involved.
Some fox girl romance or wolf girl romance. Yeah, this was also just a fun show.
Talk about a unique anime.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like for me, if they do a relationship right and they have some interesting stuff going on in the show, it's a pretty big winner for me. I haven't watched a lot of shows like that, but for Bunny Girl Senpai and Spice and Wolf, I feel like if there's anything similar to that, it would really win me over. I just like having I just like seeing a relationship grow like that, I guess.
Yeah, my recommendation.
I have some recommendations for you.
Yeah, same.
But I'll get to them later.
Gotcha. Yeah, and then it's been a little while since I've watched Spice and Wolf. We watched it on the way to Montreal. I watched most of it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
And I remember it was weird because our friend Ryan would be like, "What are you watching?" And I'm like, "I'm not going to tell this guy I'm watching a naked wolf girl anime right now. I'm not going to tell him that." So,
I mean, the first scene she's in, she's naked.
I know it was a little.
She stays relatively clothed the rest of the time.
Yeah, relatively. But yeah, it was cool. Good lore, and there's a lot. There's so much story, and that I really wanted to watch read the light novels here, but there's tons. There's tons and tons.
And there's and Spice Wolf as well is a show where at any given point, several times during the show, I'm like, well, okay, this guy's broken, he's dead now. Because this is a harsh, medieval, a little bit past medieval Renaissance maybe time, where if you don't got money, you're sold into slavery and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and I love. Well, we can get into it later because. Spoiler alert, Spice Wolf was also on my 3x3.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah, right?
Yeah, we maybe we'll save more talking for yours, Mike. But yeah,
All right, yeah,
great
sure.
show. I think Spice and Wolf is like, I don't know, like if you just more than like the Bunny Girl Senpai, if you wanted a show that's like showcases a really good or decent like romance, like slow build up romance, like that's, I don't know, realistic, I guess too. It's not like too over dramatic. I think Spice and Wolf is a really good pick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and
As realistic as you get with a Wolf Girl and
yeah.
Wolf
And
Girls are always
anime
great.
in general.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm good. You guys have any other questions? Pretty.
I think that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I think did you have an overall like theme summary you could sum up your picks
Yeah.
with?
With this show, I mean,
Or just in general, like all of them together, like
all of them together.
like
I don't know.
why you picked what you picked.
I think I typically like, I guess for me, it's all about the story over action or over, I guess, like, Iche or whatever. Like, it's definitely all about, like, for me, like, the story and, like, the characters is what draws me to anime, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes humor, I guess, with Bobobo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like slow building
Cool.
stuff typically, and yeah. Give me a good story and I'll like it.
Yeah.
Right on.
All right. Should I go next then,
Then-
since I'm
yeah.
the kind of middle of the road when it comes to veteracy?
Veteracy. Go for it. Yeah, I want to see yours.
All right,
I want
Colton,
Bikini
you wanna-
Warriors.
Spoiler, that's not on there,
Oh,
but
shoot.
that's a funny one.
Sorry.
All right. Let me share my screen here real quick.
Cool.
All right. It's up.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's see.
All right.
Oh,
Wait,
I
didn't-
would
oh,
not have
never mind.
expected your bottom right or your bottom middle. Whoa, I didn't know you either watched either of those
Is
shows.
it bottom
Really?
right?
Yeah.
Is that
All right.
Black Clover?
So
Run through them.
Yeah,
I'll
run
run
through
through
'em,
them
run through 'em.
quick. So first one, Code Geass. Second one is Attack on Titan. Third one is Konosuba.
Yeah.
Fourth one is Mob Psycho 100. Fifth one, middle one is Spice and Wolf. Sixth one is Fate Zero. Seventh one is Bakano. Eighth one is Psychopaths. And my last one is Black Lagoon.
Lagoon. Nice.
Close.
I didn't know-
Black Clover. You said Black Clover, but yeah, Black Lagoon.
Okay. I didn't know you liked Code
Yeah,
Geass that much.
You talk about the ending. I think I at least underplayed my position on the ending when we were talking about it when you had it on there. I think it's the greatest anime ending of all time, if not the greatest
That's what I
ending
was
to
saying.
anything
I mean, like,
besides
to
Return of the
anything.
King. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King has a better ending than Code Geass. That's the only thing in the world that has a better ending. I think the Code Geass ending is perfect. I know. So we watched the Code Geass movie together.
Yeah, me
right
and you,
before we
Mike.
went to
Yep.
Japan. It was the day before we went to Japan, and we're like, all right, we gotta watch this movie because it's coming out that day.
Yep, that's
And we
right.
watched
That's right.
And I was like, like it just kind of. I'll be honest,
Hit
that
hard.
hurt because it's like it wasn't the greatest. I don't know how you felt about it there, man.
it
but
wasn't. It was too much. It was like the whole
Yeah.
season of anime in 2 hours.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I think the Code Geass ending and just some of the twists and turns, and it really got me into that kind of genre, right? Because before this, we watched Attack on Titan, we watched ReZero.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just love like the twists and that kind of mind game. Death Note also kind of had this spot for me as well. I really did like Death Note, but Code Geass takes the cake on this. Mostly
Yeah.
with Death Note, I did not like the
second
ending
half.
bit of it. Spoiler alert: if you haven't seen Death Note, after L gets, I didn't like it after that.
it doesn't get as it dips off in quality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just got bored. Whereas Code Geass, there was definitely some moments where it was like it felt like kind of filler. Like I can think of like a couple of filler episodes where they have to like chase the cat. I was like, okay,
I love those
episode's weird.
episodes.
Yeah.
I was like, I needed a break between the depression. Like,
Or the hardcore seriousness.
absolutely, yeah. But I felt like it had pretty good pacing, but the ending is just it's spectacular. And that moment,
Yeah.
like, dude, I think I definitely shed a tear at the end of that. I was like, oh, Lelouch, man. Ugh. But
Yeah, that's.
I'll
it's
hold
such
off
an
on
intense show.
hold off on that. So Attack on Titan is my next one. So I won't spoil anything because I think of the three of us, I'm the only one who's actually read all of it. I've read
I've not read
the
anything.
manga all the way up to the end.
And the real end, right? The last volume's out, right?
Yes, the last volume came out, I think, in April.
Okay.
And so I finished it off. And
Gotcha.
yeah, but up to this point with the so I'll talk about up to this point with the anime. Oh my gosh, every single season just keeps getting better. I know.
Yeah,
so we started watching
good.
the first season
There's
together.
some fantastic reveals in that show.
Oh my gosh,
Absolutely
Man,
fantastic.
Modern classic.
It is.
Most people would agree. Not a hot take. I think it's a modern classic.
No.
It's to me, it's a 10 out of 10 show at this point.
I mean, everyone, a big reference in modern TV is Game of Thrones, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Attack on Titan's the Game of Thrones of anime in the sense that
100%.
for a while, you had people die just left and right, and you would have no idea who's
Yeah,
gonna
And it was
die.
I
such
still
a-
don't know who's going to die. Honestly, everyone
Oh,
could
yeah,
die
I
in this
mean-
last bit of the season here. I have
And
no
it's-
idea.
It's such a cultural icon too. Like think about anything that like brings everyone in anime together is okay. Attack on Titan, love it or hate
It's
it, right?
good.
There's definitely some
Yeah.
people who
That's
don't
airing.
like it.
Everybody knows.
But
yeah.
oh my gosh, it's such a cultural phenomenon, just like Game of Thrones was. So I hope hopefully the ending isn't as terrible as Game of Thrones was. But yeah, I thought Attack on Titan it's just amazing. All the
Agreed.
twists
What
and
show? S
turns.
tier.
My only complaint would be, I mean, I get it for budgetary reasons. They use CGI for the Attack on Titan, the last Titan attack, but oh my gosh, like
I don't mind it as much, really.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just a means to end, and the story is what's important,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
personally.
All right, next would be Konosuba. Konosuba, just I want to pick like so. We talked about like kind of going to the theory of this. My theory is I want to kind of get a broad view of like my anime taste. Like I don't want to go just like okay, just shonen, just this, right? I want to have like a broad view. And even if like there was some things I really like, I'm like, all right, I want to take like the best of it. And for me, Konosuba is like the best comedy style anime. It just hits home for everything.
Super good.
I
Super
love it.
good. Yeah,
I still
wild.
rewatch it on occasion. I'll be like, all right, it's probably on my third or fourth rewatch of that show. Oh my gosh, it's just so funny.
It's crazy how funny that show is.
Yeah.
Man.
It's funny. I've only watched it once. I want to go back and watch it.
I
again.
liked it so much that I read the rest of the light novel series.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big reader, so I binged that in like a weekend, and it was it was a blast. But the show itself, like, I can't wait for. I'm pretty sure they announced a new season.
They announced it, yeah, new season.
Season
So,
3.
Yeah, or
Cool.
And an Overlord crossover. I don't know if you saw
oh
that.
yeah, you sent me that. Yeah,
Crossover?
I was so
What's going
excited.
on?
I don't know what's gonna happen, but I think it's gonna be like a short little couple episodes,
yeah.
maybe.
It'll be
That was
fun,
fun.
regardless. But Konosuba is such a blast. Like, I love everything. Best girl in that for me is Darkness. I know that's
Darkness
kind
is
of
good,
contentious,
girl.
but
She's. I mean,
Here's the thing.
who wouldn't
So-
like Darkness? Like,
Oh
right?
man,
yeah. But here's the thing: there's a great section of the light novel that just focuses on Darkness and Kazuma's relationship. It can get kind of obviously spicy, but
I
it
thought
really
you
shows
were
the
a
dynamic
Megumin
there.
fan.
And honestly, still, Darkness best girl.
So
from
best girl of
Konosuba.
all
So you
anime.
changed at one
Oh,
point.
no, no,
you
no.
thought Megumin was.
Cole,
just
Cole,
in-
Cole knows exactly who my best girl is.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to
Coming
that,
up
yeah.
soon.
So yeah, no, but yeah, Konosuba, just the dynamic, and it feels like it feels like a group of friends. Like when we hang out, just kind of that banter and that bullshit that we talk about, right? It's
The anime does a great job of just the banter.
oh, absolutely.
And they record in the same room, I think, and to emphasize.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
probably helps
right.
a lot. Then yeah, no, I freaking love Konosuba. It's a blast.
Most animes they don't record in the same room altogether, but in that one they're like next to each other, talking at each other.
Yeah, it's so good.
and it
Yep.
maximizes the experience.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
So next one, Mob Psycho 100, specifically season 2. I loved season 1. Season 2 just upped the ante. I think like anyone who has seen it knows exactly. There's so like to me it wasn't like
Season 3 got announced.
really.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
I did not see that. I'm excited. But Mob Psycho season 2 just there's so much like I feel for Mob and I can like resonate with some of that because I was a pretty quiet kid when I was growing up and like his growth from season 1 to season 2 is just, I love following that. Like more than just the cool animation that Mob Psycho has, because it's spectacular. Also, Reagan's freaking awesome. Like,
yeah,
look up to that guy, right? But just that his growth from that to that, like, it really resonates with me. And yeah, it really hit home for me on that show.
So is it like, I know the action's good because I've seen season 1, but you're saying like the character development is what draws you to season 2 specifically?
Yeah, season 2, because he goes from, well, kind of spoilery, but he just develops into, like, he goes from, there's a huge jump in his...
Oh, in his character?
In his
he's like
character
very like...
Yeah,
pacifist in the first season, it seems like.
And he stays that way, but then, especially some of his interactions with Reagan, which is the blonde guy.
Okay.
Like, season 1 sets up, I feel like season 1 sets up season 2, his growth in that season, because he goes from he's just a lot more confidence in himself, and a lot more open with people, and there's this huge jump in growth, and that it's phenomenal. I mean, and also the fights are freaking exceptional.
I've heard. I need to watch season
really
2.
Good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I was hesitant to watch that show at first. You
Same.
know, I saw it and I'm like, this doesn't seem very interesting.
This is a One Punch Man.
You saw it and then you recommended it to me, Michael, and you're like, you gotta watch the show. And eventually I watched it and then, watched both seasons. Very, very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it, I thought.
Yeah. Now,
especially because it's the same people who made One Punch Man.
Yeah,
right?
same writer,
same
or
guy.
the original author of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. After that, man, as Colton called it, Spice Wolf. It's also
the one, the only.
Yeah. And Holo's my best girl. I think the dynamic between Lawrence and Holo is like second to none when it comes to like any kind of romance anime. It's definitely like, I love the economic side too, which is like surprising because everyone gets bored as fuck.
Yeah,
with the economic side of
it was
it.
fascinating.
They make it interesting, man.
Like, I always think back, like, I love them.
Oh shoot, how's he gonna sell these
Yeah, it's
leathers?
like, how's he gonna get out of this debt?
No, for me it was the moment in, I think it was the season 2 where he shorts it was like the fool's gold market.
That
I was like,
so
oh my
good.
gosh, because I understand that kind of stuff. And so when he did that, I was like, oh my gosh, this
is this how Wall
an
Street
awesome
bets
moment.
Things?
It is. He is pulling a Wall Street bets move, right?
Yeah, medieval Wall Street.
Yeah,
bets.
also,
Yeah, exactly.
Man, in season 2, slight spoiler alert, but the whole like jealousy thing that he had going in for the Holo thing. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
That was
shepherd?
like, it's like, yeah. This guy should be jealous. This is not good.
Yeah. But
yeah, right.
I think just their dynamic there, and honestly, like, Holo's personality IRL is kind of the thing I like. So that's kind of, I'm like, all right, best girl. Yeah, it's not because she's a furry. It's just because that personality type is just,
It's only level 2
Although
furry.
if there was ears,
Yeah, right, yeah.
bonus points.
Right, yeah. She only has, was it ears and tail? It's okay.
Ears
And
tail.
then,
Is that level
tail.
1 or level? I think it's level 1 furry.
Yeah.
Technically. So you're good.
Yeah,
You're good.
I'm safe. But no, that show is great. Their dynamic and just how their relationship, it's this very both platonic and plutonic relationship, and how that develops over the time. It's so engaging. So yeah, really like that. And I mean, we've already talked about this before with Golden, but yeah, it's just a great show. 100%.
So good.
And I also read the light novel. I forgot to mention that. Also phenomenal. I hope they have a season 3.
Yeah,
But
man.
it's hard to pull off. Like, there's some great moments in the light novel, especially that even like I was like, all right, I can kind of see a lot of where this is going, right? But
Right.
even threw me for the loop, and I
mean, talk about a long play relationship. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely a slow build.
I don't think
It's
in
like,
all the seasons he got a kiss on the cheek at the end of it. It's like,
no.
man.
So they kissed on the lips at the very end of it. Like
The very
and, like,
end?
he basically confessed his love at the end
Yeah.
of season
I mean,
2.
there's a spoiler.
Sorry, shit, spoilers. Yes.
I mean, no, I mean, I've seen it show.
Yeah, and
so
I think it's, at this point, yeah. So he confessed his love.
it's old enough.
And there's kind of like this, but I just want to see, because after that, right, there's this, obviously this kind of tension there. And so moving forward, it's great. Heck, even like while they're still in that city, there's some more stuff that happens.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
it's
a great show.
Did you watch all the light novel, or did you read all the light novel, like all the way through? Man, all
no,
like 18 books.
I started at I think it was book 7 or 8. When the last one shows.
Like
I stopped, or I started after that because if I'm going to read like 3 extra or 8 extra light novels.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no,
I started
read
from the
rest
beginning.
of them. So they're great.
Yeah.
Ending's great. And there's a bunch of like appendices that I also read up on. I basically took a long weekend and just binged the entire thing.
Nice. Man, I want to do that. It's so good.
It's the only way I can read, man. I have to binge something, or else it just doesn't happen. It's either 100% or 0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But no, the light novels were really good, and the show is fantastic. 100% would recommend. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Yeah, great show. Great show.
Yeah. All right. Next, Fate Zero. I don't know if Colin. I don't think you've seen this. Have you?
I didn't finish it. I got to like episode 3.
Oh yeah,
I've seen it. Yeah.
So what I really liked about this is there's a lot of battles of ideology, of like the different views of like kingship and how to like rule and how to be a leader. I really like that side of it. And also the fights are gorgeous. I mean, it's ufotable, right? So of course it's going to be gorgeous. Yeah. They made Demon Slayer, all of the Fate series, but yeah, Fate Zero. I'm pretty sure it's original work too. It's not based on any of the visual novels, but yeah,
I think so.
Fate Zero is just amazing. And I like that there's no good guy and no bad guy. Like
everyone's just they're doing their own thing.
There's definitely bad
there's
people,
Grail, right?
but there's no true good guy, right? Everyone has their own agenda, and it feels more real world than this black and white dichotomy. It's more like everyone has their own goals, and I love how
there's lots of facets.
Like everything changes, right? Especially we can get to spoil it. I don't want to spoil anything because Colton hasn't seen all of it. But yeah, it's definitely a great one to watch. I really like the really like ending of it too. Surprisingly, I really liked. I know a lot of people were like, "What the heck?" But yeah, I really liked it.
Does Fate ever truly end? I don't think.
Fate
is so crazy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So yeah, this is a great show. Also 10 out of 10. And then Bakano. I don't think either of you have seen Bakano.
We have not seen
I've
it.
I've not seen your bottom 3 here. I've not seen.
I feel like
really?
we need to watch Bakano, Sean. I feel like we need to watch Bakano.
Yeah. So Bakano.
Yeah, I mean, Michael keeps talking about it.
This is one of the few ones where I'd say watch the English dub. Actually, honestly, the bottom 3 ones all have great English dubs. I'd definitely say that Bakano is one of the few anime that you have to 100% watch the English dub because it's one of the few that it's actually really good and really conveys what you want. I watched both the sub and the dub version. I really like the dub version, actually. I know this is like kind of hearsay, but
blasphemy.
Yes. Sorry, heresy.
Heresy.
I get burned in internal fire.
I mean, there are definitely shows that I think are better in English, and there's not too many, but they're definitely a handful.
This is one of them. And I love how it starts out with a lot of different moving pieces, and it slowly comes together. There's another one done by the same studio called Durarara. I kind of considered both of those for this spot because I love Durarara as well. But Bakano, I think, really stands out, and it's a bit shorter. Durarara has like 3 seasons, I think.
Okay.
And it kind of, I think it's really good first season, and second season it kind of like goes down. But yeah, Durarara is a great one, but Bakano I think stands out above it. I forget which one was released first, but same kind of like art style. It's very different than a lot of shows that you run into, and I also love the setting because it's one of the settings you don't see a lot. It's like the 1920s, 1930s. I think it's Chicago.
Yeah, it's in America, which is cool.
Yeah, and hence why you want to watch the dub because
that's why it's better in English.
It feels like, and they do a great job of like some of like the accents and stuff in the English dub that just I don't feel like. Obviously, I don't speak Japanese, so I can't understand like how that's conveyed in the Japanese dub. but
Right.
it felt that the English dub was just, it felt right. And
Yeah.
but I love
I can see
how
that.
all the different pieces come together. There's a lot of different stories, different moving parts that all slowly converge, and it goes across different timelines.
It's like a
Ooh, that's
Tarantino
cool.
movie kind of thing.
Kind of.
Where, okay.
And it's also like pretty brutal too.
Okay, nice.
There's definitely some brutality. Basically deals with a lot of immortal people. And so
Oh,
hence the
I had no
timelines.
idea. Now I'm into it.
Yeah,
All right.
so there's some immortals, and that's kind of the whole
Oh,
watch
that's
this
cool.
as a
I
group.
had no idea.
We
Group
should.
watch. Next group watch.
I can do it. Yeah.
Let's do it.
yeah. If you can get the English dub, Sean, that's the
I think I have it.
yeah.
I'll try and see where it's at.
yeah. All right, next one. So I'm surprised you haven't seen Psycho-Pass.
I've seen the first 2 episodes like years ago, and then I never finished it.
So this one for me, I love this one mostly due to, well, I like actually, it's kind of a hot take, but I actually really like the main character and her development because so Psycho-Pass takes place in this, it's kind of a semi-future where an AI maintains control over everything.
Okay.
I think it's in Japan. I know it's like in like the Tokyo area.
I didn't get that far into
Yeah,
it.
and so an AI maintains it. So it basically tells you, okay, where your job is, and it judges you based on your psychopath or like how psychotic you are, and like everything I think between 0 and 100 is like acceptable, normal, and anything above between 100 and 200 is all right. You're a latent criminal, quote unquote. So the system will basically either put you into an asylum to try to not, reduce that level, or
Yeah.
kind of sideline you as, outside the system. And then you have everything above 200 is like active criminal, shoot on sight.
God.
Huh.
And so
Wow.
Okay.
it's a
Interesting.
pretty brutal system, and it shows like how an artificial intelligence would govern a society, and it gets really deep and fascinating on that.
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Did-
I really both it's IMA and I forget the guy's name. It's like Kurami, I think is his I forget the main guy's name, the black-haired guy. But they're both just smart. And IMA, I like her growth from being a very naive police detective to being, kind of not so much part of the system,
In
but
charge, and knows what
understands
she's
the
doing.
system,
Mhm.
both why it is, but also somewhat acts against it at the same time. And it's just really cool and how like that systems influence us, and it can be pretty dark and brutal at times. I mean, yeah, it's really like that. There's some
Did the anime conclude, or is it like extension into a manga?
There's like I think it's 2 main seasons, and there's like a 3rd season that aired not too long ago that had like totally different characters. It was all right. I think I dropped it after like episode 4. But,
Okay.
the main 2 ones that I can think of where it has the main cast is just phenomenal. And then last off, I'm surprised you haven't seen this one, Sean, is Black Lagoon. Another one
I'm surprised you
100%
you have.
It's
Yeah,
another one that you have to 100% watch in dub, because the amount of fucks said in that, it rivals The Wolf of Wall Street. It is so vulgar, but so good. It really dives into kind of, I wouldn't say criminal psychology, but like just people who have been fucked by life and really shit on by the world. And it delves into that, and it shows kind of how the main premise of it is Japanese businessman gets kidnapped by essentially modern day pirates in a fictional city in Thailand. And it goes from there, and he basically becomes part of the crew. And it's really awesome seeing kind of his, fall into depravity, but also him like trying to rescue these people at the same time. And the main driving force is Revi, which is the person on the screen, and Rock, who's the Japanese businessman. Like their relationship is so good, and it's so dynamic and so layered. Like, because like kind of the spoilers, but Revy sees Rock as kind of like a kind of like not fit for this life, yet also at the same time wants to like have him pull her out, right? Sees him as like an escape route
her
from
chance
life
to get out, maybe,
because she's been screwed by life in a lot of different ways. Like when you hear about her backstory, I think it's in Roberta's Blood Trail when she has her flashback. You're like, shit, like you're
this girl's life sucks.
Yeah, well, she grew up in like the streets of New York and just got brutalized, and it's just bad.
Dang.
So that, and it increases in. It's so good. It increases in its like. Yeah, it just increases in intensity, but also every single season it just gets better and better. Like I feel like
how many seasons?
The first season is kind of, it's hard to get into it in the first season, like, and it's more episodic in the first season. But the second season is where it gets really into it, like, and how brutal it is. Especially like the twins arc, you're like, oh my gosh, like. You really get hit hard with that one. If anyone knows, like in the comment section, how bad that is, right? Any listeners know how brutal it can get in that second season. Oh, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the twins arc really hits home, and then when they moved to Japan, there was kind of the latter part of the second season. They go back to Japan, and kind of how the disconnect there is pretty awesome. But there's just some great characters. Balalaika, I'd totally look her up. Look up some of the best scenes from that show. Oh my gosh, they're really brutal. But Balalaika is awesome of just being like the badass. She's the badass leader of Hotel Moscow, which is essentially the subsection of the Russian mob in that city. And they're pretty awesome. They're basically ex-soldiers, ex-special forces who just take no prisoners and know how to get the job done in a lot of different ways. But
so a high recommendation from Michael.
Totally.
I remember I was gonna say the only scene I've seen was like the Japanese dub where she starts speaking English. She's like in a store. She's like,
okay, now that's actually pretty cringe.
Give what?
But watch the English dub version of that. Oh, it's
so
phenomenal.
good. Yeah, that was a funny thing.
Revy, and just like kind of like the darkness you see in her, like especially like you watch the there's a great scene after the submarine scene's another one that really shows her kind of her internal thought process. But like after that, when she basically takes out an entire boat of Nazis or neo-Nazis and just annihilates them, and it's just a great scene where she just goes off.
Dang.
But yeah, it's a phenomenal show that really, like, it's one of the darker shows I can think of that I've seen. Not so much from a violent standpoint, definitely, but more so from just the existential side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Twins Arc, I think, is really the one that I highly recommend everyone watch, because it's extremely brutal, and it's really fucked up. That's the best way to describe the show. It's just kind of fucked up, and there's a lot of swearing, and it feels really like kind of real in a lot of ways. So yeah, it's a blast.
I mean,
to
that's
watch.
cool.
Yeah, that's super cool.
That's a very different take on anime.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What most people would think of an anime.
It doesn't feel like normal anime. Absolutely.
Cool.
Right on. So did you have like an overall theme for why you picked what you picked?
No, not really. I mostly just picked
Things
ones
you enjoyed.
that I like. I try to vary my categories. Like I think we talked about, I could probably replace this with XYZ. But this one rule out overall. But no, I want to vary. I want to have at least like one comedy, one romance one, and some like the more seinen level ones. Like I basically put my bottom row as like, okay, more toward the seinen side of things. Actually, Fate Zero is also pretty seinen as well. That's tend to be my preference, is kind of the more seinen style anime. I'd totally say Attack on Titan falls into that category too, because I mean, as you're talking about, Golden, it's freaking brutal at times.
Yeah.
top tier.
All right, sweet.
All right, let's let the master decide now. We need to see the master's pick.
Yeah, master. Yeah, right.
So we forgot to do this for mine, but let's do a quick guess at what Sean is.
Sword Art Online.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Right? This has to be correct, Michael, right? Sword Art Online.
We'll see.
I was 100% thinking that. And this is the one that we're going to get into a fight over because...
So to preface, I think I've probably maybe not been watching the longest because me and Colton, you probably started watching at the same time as kids.
Probably.
But I didn't have the period where you were just not watching anime for a while. Like, I kind of kept on that. I'll get into that when I start, but I have just always throughout high school, and college been watching anime. So the list of shows I've seen has grown, quite large. Not as large as some people, but
If
Of
you're
the
a
three of us,
anime
you're
nerd,
definitely the
over
most.
over 300
Jeez, yeah.
individual shows.
you could start an anime YouTube channel and be relevant. I feel
Gosh, no.
No.
All right, so we got Sword Art Online, Attack on Titan, right?
I
That's
definitely think
the
Attack
show.
on Titan is the one that's all three of us will have on there. But I definitely think Sword Art Online, which is going to be contentious because I fucking hate Sword Art Online. Not gonna lie.
I don't have too much of an opinion.
I always give him shit for it. I'm like, dude,
It's true.
What
Yeah.
else is there? I think Mushishi will be on there personally because I know you really like Mushishi.
all right.
So I'm gonna put
Like
Mushishi.
I want to put
Would
what's the one with the girl with the invisible arms?
Invisible Arms?
Invisible arms.
That's 3-0.
Elfen Lied. Elfen Lied.
Elfen Lied. Oh,
yeah.
I think that was one of Sean's first ones, right?
Yeah,
It
I know
was-
you've got that on Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah.
I do. It's the only one I have.
Rex.
Yep. Yeah.
All right,
So
what
I
about-
definitely think that's up there.
Would Madoka Magica be on there, you think, Mike?
I don't.
I think Sean has recommended Madoka Magica to me a lot just because of shock factor.
I have. You still need to watch
I
it.
do need to watch it.
Yeah.
Even though I've gotten so many memes, I'm like, I feel like I'm expecting what's going to happen at this point.
I mean,
I know
it's-
exactly what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, but when I first watched though, I had no idea. All right, so that's another guess. Anything else?
Wait.
Yep.
I'm
Boku
going
no
to...
Pico.
No.
Yeah,
God.
that's a meme right there.
I'm wondering if One Punch Man will be on there because I know you really like that too, Sean.
Mm-hmm. That has one of the best soundtracks of
yeah.
all time, I think.
I definitely think that.
I guess I
Elfen
might
Lied's
as well
on
put
there.
One Punch Man on. Dragon Ball Z,
Mm-hmm.
not Super. I guess I'll guess Z, not Super, not GT, not the original Dragon Ball, but Dragon Ball Z is what I'm gonna guess for that. And then
I will say so before I show it, I'll explain my rationale ahead of time as to why I
Smart
chose
move.
what I chose.
while we outcry on the choices.
Yeah. So
And-
I think I spent a lot of time. I spent about 2 or 3 days trying to work on this, and I think I chose what I chose because they were either very formative for me in terms of what established my taste going forward, and also shows that I found very impactful.
Yeah. Okay.
In one way or another. Sometimes those intersect for sure, but yeah, I think that's what I tried to go for.
Okay.
With, and I had a tough time. I had probably about 25 to 30 different shows I was trying to fit into.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Sunday night.
you have a lot of shows under your belt, so there's a lot of different stuff probably affecting
I
you.
probably had 12 that I could think of off the top of my head. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I only
I
had,
should find 9.
Yeah, I only have 10, honestly. There was a couple. I wanted to put Domestic Girlfriend on mine, but I was like, yeah, that's probably not right.
Well, see, okay.
I went through all 300 shows, and I was like, I opened every one that I was thinking of in a tab, added all those to a file, and just started moving things around.
Yeah.
And it was tough.
You mentioned Domestic Girlfriend. I didn't put it on there. I thought it was awesome.
I
Mostly
love that
because we
show.
were freaking drunk.
Yeah, I mean
And-
that show's a great if
It's
you,
also a meme
I
show.
know,
Yeah.
if you have buddies to watch that show with, I do think that's a fun show to watch. If you're
Oh,
comfortable with
absolutely.
some of the
And
weird lewd shit that
I just
goes
remember
on.
us going oh my gosh, oh my
It
gosh.
was a crazy ride. It's dude, it's
yeah.
this is how people feel when they watch The Bachelor, but
Oh,
in
absolutely,
anime
yeah.
form. It's
It's such
amazing.
a soap opera. Oh my gosh. But
All right, I'm gonna share
Cool.
it.
That's the reason I didn't
also
put ReZero on
way
there.
more toasted right now than I
same.
was for the first
I'm drinking
two.
I'm drinking hard stuff right now. So yeah,
I'm way more. I'm about to be so fightful. I'm gonna fight.
Oh yeah,
fight Sean on this.
in the fight
opinion.
mood. Oh my
right,
god,
well,
I
there it
fucking
is.
called it. Oh my god. God damn it, Sean.
What'd you call? I'm still getting. Okay, 1, 2,
Front and center there,
3.
Michael.
It is
Well,
front
I
center.
don't know a lot of these. Is that Gurren Lagann?
So I'll
no.
go through and explain
I
these.
know. Oh,
Or
Kill
I'll
la Kill,
list
of
these.
course, Kill la Kill.
That's I almost put that on mine
of
too.
course.
So
You
I'll
have
go
Code
through
Geass?
top
I didn't know you
five
like
here.
Code Geass that much either.
Oh,
I've been talking about how it's the best ending of all time. Okay, so
Wait, no-
top
no
left
Attack
here,
on Titan?
Dragon Ball Z. We'll get to there, Michael. We'll get there. And what I did here specifically is because some of these shows have several series, you know, so it's not for me the series individually; it's the whole show. It's like I put Dragon Ball Z here, but I like the whole of all of Dragon Ball essentially. So Dragon Ball Z, Full Metal Panic, Elfen Lied. I can't believe the name. It's like Anonatsu Demeteru is the Japanese name. It's like something in the summer or
Okay.
something. Yeah, something in the summer is the name. Then Sword Art.
Season specific?
Then Sword Art. All of Sword Art.
Okay, cool.
All of Sword Art. No question. Alicization is probably the best, but all of Sword Art.
I can
and
agree
then
with that. We'll talk about it later.
I'll talk about it later. And then this next one is From the
Yep.
New World.
Yeah, okay. I
Which
should
we
have caught
started
that.
all of us, but we never finished it. Then
Gurren
Gurren
Lagann.
Lagann,
Yeah.
Kill la Kill, and
Code
Code
Geass.
Geass.
Wow.
Those are the 9
All right.
there. And
I'm surprised Kill la Kill is on there. I'm not surprised Gurren Lagann's on there.
Sean talks about Kill la Kill so much, man. I should have guessed that one.
That was almost on mine too. I almost replaced Psychopaths with Kill la Kill.
Have you
it was
both-
between ReZero, Psychopaths, and Kill la Kill.
So you both fully watched Kill la Kill?
Oh yeah.
Because I think I got to episode 4 and I stopped because there was some
After
weird
episode
stuff going.
After episode 7, it becomes really.
I
good.
should rewatch it.
takes off.
Yeah,
it's
I should
like
rewatch it.
non-stop.
And then yeah, exactly. It's not stop. But all right, we're pushing it. We're
For
pushing
Kill la
it.
Kill,
Let's start with Dragon Ball Z.
hold on. It's one thing. Kill la Kill. When that show came out, I was like, "What's this going on? It's weird." And then it got ramped up and got more and more. And then it just got like emotional for me,
yeah.
for like her struggle going through all this.
Oh yeah.
And then when it ended, I got the soundtrack for that show,
my
which is
gosh,
stellar.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I listened to it
Sawano.
on
So Attack on Titan.
it's the same guy who did Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Right. I hear a lot of people.
I listened to that soundtrack on repeat nonstop for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I
hear a
still
lot
have
of
that.
people-
No joke.
on my
I
on that CD. So I in my old truck I only had a CD player, right? So I had a CD of all right. These are my core anime soundtracks, and Kill la Kill is definitely one of them. Death Parade,
Yes.
the opening for Death Parade was also one. Colors from Code Geass was
Oh
also
yeah,
one.
Colors was so good too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man,
I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. I
Kill la
had a
Kill-
Log Horizon, which I'm surprised none of us put on there because Log Horizon is also a great
it's good.
show.
It doesn't blow me out of the water.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed that you put Sword Art Online before Log Horizon though, because I think Log Horizon is the better show. I may be a hipster for saying that,
False.
but all right. Let's start from
Well, okay,
let's start
so
from the beginning.
I'll start from top from
Yeah.
the beginning, because the ones I put at the top, I put there because they were like probably my formative shows. So like Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, I was watching as a kid. Like how I initially got into anime, I watched Dragon Ball, and sporadically, a couple shows here and there, and then I just didn't watch it for a while. And then one day, I think in middle school or maybe early high school, probably late middle school, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch Dragon Ball, because I want to see how I'd seen it as a younger kid. I'm like, let me try and see that from the beginning. And I just started watching it, and it was just a long slog. I binged watched Dragon Ball Z essentially, and it hundreds, and that's a show of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of
it's
episodes. And
time
I sunk
commitment.
so many hours into it
Yeah.
that I don't know. And then that like solidified my love of shonen animes, and they had some really good moments.
Yeah.
And I've talked to you guys about. We've occasionally dove into the rabbit hole that is Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Colton has more so than I have. I'll be honest, I have not. I've not gotten my toes super wet with Dragon Ball Z. It just
I
hasn't
watched
been
the
my
end
thing.
I watched the end of Super with Sean, which was really good, very fun. You don't
So
even
good.
have,
and that was emotional, I think, for me,
Yeah.
because it had been so many years since I'd seen the
Oh,
original
yeah,
Dragon
yeah.
Ball.
yeah,
And then to see it redone in a cool way like that. And they paid a homage to some stuff
Yeah.
a lot for very well.
Yeah,
I
it's
just remember
great 'cause,
watching
like-
the Majin Buu, or what was the guy? What was he's purple face? He's like Thanos of.
Majin Buu.
It's not Majin Buu.
Oh, the God of Death or the God of Destruction.
No, not him.
Beerus?
Because we watched the Super version with you.
is it Jiren?
Is it Jiren?
Jiren's the guy.
He's the super strong dude who just looks at people and they go away.
Yeah, because
basically.
that was like the final fight of where he goes Super Saiyan.
Yeah, that was probably Jiren.
It's Jiren, yeah. I remember watching.
Yeah,
that
I
with
mean, I just like, strong people punching people.
yeah, like the bull's powerful. Yeah, Super's
Yeah,
awesome.
and there's definitely pros and there's like good things and bad things throughout the whole show, but overall, I just have a ton of memories because it's so long of watching that
Yeah.
show. Kind of similar to how with Colton and Naruto.
Yeah,
And then I think that was that. All right, and then the first like serious-ish anime I watched that exposed me to how like dark anime could be was Elfen Lied, the third one there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was like the first time, like, because I watched that in high school sometime, and I think that was like the first time like I cried watching an anime,
damn, yeah.
yeah.
which may be like edgy and like oh I'm in high school and I'm cool
Yep.
to sound like that, but the story hit me like really hard, especially there's I know you guys have never seen it, and slight spoilers, but I mean there's a reveal of something towards the end of it that as a kid did not see coming, and now I probably would, but as a kid I didn't see it coming, or a kid, high schooler, I did not see it coming, and it destroyed me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, same with the
And so
Code
that-
Geass ending. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, just
Yeah, I feel like
balls, man.
I hear a lot of talk about Elfen Lied, and I feel like it's a good show to watch when you're that age. You can't, because like you were saying, Sean, like maybe you pick up on more things now. I've never watched it, so I don't know. But a lot of people, or at least on like when I see like threads about it, a lot of people have the same comments. It's like very impactful towards like their high school, when they're in high school.
I think a lot of anime is. That's
Yeah.
what it's mainly geared towards.
Yeah.
But even now, like I want to rewatch it because and to see more. And that soundtrack's really good too. I listened to that for a while. It's just like it. I don't know how else to describe it, except at the time it hit me very hard,
Yeah,
and it's super dark.
Mhm.
It's not something that you're exposed to much, especially in a high schooler age, is how dark that could be.
right.
And the terribleness of either not necessarily humanity, but like just
yeah.
bad situations.
The only
you know,
thing I've seen from Elfen Lied is the dog scene where the one kid, I think it's when she's a younger kid. Spoilers, yes. When she's a younger kid, and like the one he's like the one bully kind of hurts the dog, and she just goes ape shit. That's the only.
yeah, that
that's
was
the
like one of the
only-
flashbacks towards
only
later.
moments I've seen from that. And
Wait,
I
can we
was
get
like,
those?
brutalized? I was like, what the like how like
Yeah, it's brutal. I
Yeah.
mean, even the beginning's brutal.
Can we get a slight
Like,
synopsis
well, yeah.
of
Well,
Elfen
no,
Lied?
I seen
Like,
the
what's it
beginning
about?
too.
So-
Is brilliant.
So Elfen Lied's about this girl who's a military experiment, psychological experiment. She has the ability to control arms, like invisible kind of psychic arms.
ReZero S arms.
I don't know if
Yeah.
she's human. She's not human, but like I don't know if she was originally human and then became what she is, or an alien or whatnot. And she escapes from a military. This is the first episode. Escapes from a military facility, but in the process of doing so is like shot in the head and falls into the water and presumed dead, but washes up on the shore at some point later, and then this guy finds her, and she's this basically killing machine, but she's forgotten all her memories.
Right. Okay.
And is basically an invalid essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Super sweet girl, and then it's occasionally, what happens from then. These people are trying to find her. She's potentially regaining her memories after living with this guy. How does that all shake down? Basically, what the show's about, and it's pretty intense. Or it was at least when I watched it originally.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a good synopsis. Very emotional. There's gonna be some emotional shit that goes down based off that synopsis. So,
yeah.
Sean, what are you drinking?
And then, what am I? Sorry?
Yeah, what are you drinking?
This is Obsidian Stout by Deschutes Brewery from Oregon.
It's a green tea drink. It's Jameson, peach schnapps, Sprite, and sour mix. Please make it yourself, kids.
Don't make
Don't make it yourself, kids. It's actually really good.
I'm just making. This is just gin and lime juice. And
Mike's making
vodka.
straight gin.
And yes, it is. I went from sake to just straight gin and vodka, and so yeah, it's gonna be fun. But
so
side
then,
note, yeah.
So then, the other formative anime here, top middle,
Panic.
Full Metal Panic.
Yeah. You've
3
always
seasons
talked
of
about
this.
this, and I've not yet to watch it.
I've talked about this, and you'd actually like this show, Michael. You'd like the main girl, the main heroine.
Chizuru is her name? I'm pretty sure.
I forget.
I've
her
only
name.
seen the moment where the main guy takes a shotgun and then shoots the. He's like in a karate class, and there's like 3 guys who attack him, and he shoots one with a shotgun, pulls a grenade on the other guy, and it's just like, what the fuck is happening right now? This is the only moment I've seen from it.
Brief synopsis is it's this modern day Japan, and by modern day I mean like 2005,
Yeah.
But at the same time, these like mechs exist in the world, these like fighting mechs, which shouldn't, and everyone's like, this is weird, why do these mechs exist in the world? But they do, and it's because there's these certain people around the world called Whispered, who are they're all girls, of course, who they just possess knowledge from the future, out who knows where, like they just have this like future tech that they possess, and they don't all the time know that they have it. So one of the main girls is a Whispered, and there's this anti-crime fighting guerrilla faction that exists in the world, that the main dude is a part of, and he has a rough backstory, but basically he's a high schooler in the military, essentially, in like this renegade military
That makes
unit.
sense.
And he's sent to this girl's high school to protect her in this case that this other terrorist organization is looking for her and trying to find her, essentially. And he's never been in a part of a normal society, hence why he pulled a shotgun in the middle of the classroom, because like he doesn't know how to fit in, and so the first couple episodes is him like trying to blend in, watching over her, trying to not be a suspect, but being completely obvious,
Yeah.
And there's just mech fights, and then it kind of goes from there. And there's 3 seasons that I watched as in high school, and then they recently came out with a 4th season.
Oh, really?
Way down the line. It was 10 years later that they announced a 4th season. I was like, oh my! I was super excited and watched all that. And it's really good. It's a obviously there's gonna be some romance that develops here. Kind of classic in a school anime with a boy and a girl. It's a classic boy meets girl.
Except boy
show.
is a military trained like soldier, and girl is a mech pilot, quote unquote.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, she's just a normal high school girl.
Okay,
he's the mech pilot,
quote unquote normal.
Yeah,
and
very normal.
It's I don't know. I just love the show. Like I love the premise. I'm a sucker for those like slow romance animes or stories in general. So that's kind of why that's on there. It's one of the first kind of ones I watched. It's definitely after Elfen Lied that I watched that. And then I guess next is Waiting in the Summer, I think is actually the English name.
See, I've never heard you talk about this ever.
Yeah, I haven't either. This is a
I've
surprise.
heard you talk about everything else besides this anime. I'm really surprised by it.
Need to hear more.
Yeah.
This one, I was debating what would go here, because this is definitely a category. This is a slice of life romance, essentially. This dude, he's a camera guy. He just kind of films things, which,
very spicy.
Not sure if I'm inserting myself in here.
Very spicy.
Yeah.
No. He's like he's this nature dude, takes pictures.
Yeah.
Not nature guy, but he takes pictures of nature. He's an outcast in school and whatnot.
Okay, gotcha.
Or not full outcast, but he's a quiet kid, keeps himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's walking home one time and meets this girl, and helps her once, not. And then it turns out she's a transfer student in the school. You've heard the story before.
Falls in love.
And then they spend them and the friend group doing stuff during the summer. They just kind of hang out and grow and learn and whatnot. And she's not exactly from around here.
And she's an
it's
alien?
kind of the premise.
Yeah.
We learn that they hint that pretty early that she's not from Earth.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And I think even as a when I was watching this originally, I'm like, she's not around here. Now, if I saw this, I would instantly recognize it. So I don't think it's too much of a spoiler. And then it's kind of how it's like a slow build relationship romance anime that I at the time.
Better than Spice and Wolf?
I mean, I liked it better.
I was gonna say
in a way.
Probably like subjective to your tastes and your.
It's definitely
time.
subjective.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. There's no economy in this. There's no trading for leathers.
There's no stocks.
So
Stonks. Wolf.
I can see it though. If you came across that before Spice and Wolf, that's gonna hold.
But I don't know when I did. I have to check my list. But for me, I really enjoyed the show. I really felt a connection watching it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why that's there. And it's I've never talked about it before. I don't usually talk about the romance animes that I watch.
Yeah.
But that's on there for sure. I think it's definitely there. I want to actually show you guys the rest of the picks that I was thinking between, but that is it.
What are some of the other things that contended with this?
I'll talk about that after.
Okay.
The full
all
thing.
right. All right.
Gotcha.
SAO. And then SAO.
God damn it. I just peeked.
This to me,
but yeah.
I don't know why I like this as much as I do.
You are the isekai man of all three of us, though.
I think there's something I like about power level fantasies that I like to identify with.
You should just put the Demon Lord anime on there then.
I was thinking about it actually.
Wait. Which Demon Lord one? Because there's 5 of them.
It's like Misfit Demon.
Voldigold or something.
Voldigold.
Oh, dude, I remember
thought killing me would make me die.
You thought crushing my heart would make me die. Yeah.
Dude,
I've seen that
about
meme
that. But
way
no,
too much.
I mean, there's something I like one of the major complaints people have with Sword Art is Kirito being a flat character.
Yes.
But
My
to me,
main
he's
complaint.
not. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because I can project onto him easier that way. But there's definitely certain moments. I mean, I identify with the quiet character that behind the scenes feels a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you read the light novel, which is not conveyed well in the anime, but if you read the light novel, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that's not he doesn't talk about. And I've read all the light novels. So.
Yes, yeah, I bet.
And I don't think the first season, which is the Sword Art originally, and then Fairy Tail, I guess it's the second arc. There's certain scenes in both that that were very emotional to me. And then even going forward, and then when it got to Gun Gale was all right, or the Black Bullet arc, or Gun Gale arc. But then Alicization, which is the latest one, that hit me really hard for some reason.
That's recent too, right?
All right.
And that's recent. Yeah. stellar animation, and I don't think I've seen a better bromance in any anime ever.
The bromance between who?
I can disagree with that because you have one on your list where there's a better bromance. It's called Gurren Lagann.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but that only lasted 5 episodes.
Okay, all right, yeah, touche.
Whereas in Sword Art, I mean, in the first season, you know, basically this dude's surrounded by girls. You know, classic harem without being harem. You know, but all the girls like the guy. In Alicization, this dude and this guy were it's them against the world, basically. And they have a mission, you know, and they are trying to escape from this world. He's trying to escape from the world. Other guy's trying to get his best friend back, or the girl back, essentially. And it's like there's so much that happens to me that a moment happens, and I really get inside a character's head when I watch things or read things. That when something happens, I just was like, oh my God, you know, certain times there are certain moments that happen where I couldn't.
Okay, Sean.
Couldn't function, you know. Maybe I get a little too invested in some things, but
okay, all right. From my perspective, at least I'll say that Alicization is the best part of the SAO series that has been animated today. I have seen Alicization. I thought it was great. It was fantastically animated. I think it was A1 Pictures did a freaking awesome job. They put the money into that. But
I definitely shed tears in that show.
What? I was cringing half the time.
Not the first one. No. A couple times in the first season, but definitely Alicization, 100%. And the movie Ordinal Scale.
Ordinal Scale.
Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale.
I haven't seen that.
That the ending hit me really hard in that, because like they had the song playing and the team. There's a lot going on. That I don't know why Sword Art is so close to my heart for some reason.
Yeah, and you put it at the exact center. You put it at the center. Yeah. Whereas I put like
that was for a reason.
The core of his anime tastes comes from Sword Art.
Yeah. All right. Actually, I think that all the cores have been kind of like, okay, a little suspect because I've got Spice Wolf as the core. Colton's got Naruto as the core. and Sean's got SAO. So this is just
sometimes the core of anime is just a subjective thing, man. You just are like, I connect with this show for whatever reason. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really argue with Sword Art because I haven't seen a lot of it, so it's hard for me to. I've just seen memes. I know a lot of people are like, I
mean, 100% it's memeable. That's true, but for me, I really, really connect with it.
Now, have you seen the Something Witty Entertainment's version of Sword Art?
The
bridge version,
Sword Art abridged.
Yeah,
I think I've seen that a little bit.
Now that is where it's at for me.
I
love that. It's not technically an anime, but oh my gosh, the abridged series on that is freaking phenomenal.
There's some good abridged series out there.
Should make an abridged series, by the way.
Oh no way!
I'm gonna make one.
All right,
DBZ.
And then
DBZ.
I'll try and go quickly through my
because you
remaining
should contest with like, you know, Team 4-Star and their A+
abridged
tier.
isn't even popular.
They
anymore.
are A+ tier abridged.
Honestly,
series,
we could make a great.
Have you seen Hellsing abridged?
Something.
It's just like so good. But that's a totally separate subject. Let's continue on.
From the New World. Yes,
From the New World.
From the New World. I know I've talked to you guys about this a lot. We started it,
but episode 3 or 4, I think.
Yeah. We forgot.
And I got bored. I'll be honest.
To me, this is one of the most fascinating takes on humanity I've ever seen. A brief synopsis would be, and I'll get a slightly spoilerish for you guys because it's to get the full on kind of back history it goes in a couple episodes in. But basically, it's one day in modern day Japan. There's someone with psychic powers is born.
Mm-hmm.
And
as you do.
They're kind of a psychopath, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
And they kill hundreds and hundreds of people. Like, there's nothing that can stop them. Eventually died, but leading up to that, and then from that point, developed like this. Basically, more and more people started developing these psychic powers, and there was these things. These people have unlimited potential. essentially. Like, imagine if you could do anything just by thinking about it. How do you even control that? Like, okay, you're someone who has unlimited power. Everyone around you has unlimited power, the potential for it. And then someone's born who, let's say, and you have to visualize stuff. And let's say someone's born who can't see right, you know, who has a disability with their eyes. How do you, and that would be
It's like
devastating, you know, if they couldn't do it correctly and they slice someone in half by accident or compress them, you know, by doing some other chore that they couldn't see right and targeted somebody else. Or, you know, someone has Alzheimer's and is born like that. You know, like, how would you function in a society where everyone is basically a walking nuclear bomb?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this kind of show kind of tackles, is how that would be. So the show takes place in like the year 3000, you know, it's like super far in the future. Everyone lives in these societies, these small kind of closed off villages, very more primitive, and they're all taught about these powers and everything. But one of the core things is no one in this world has human rights until after 18. So up until that point, if you're deemed, you know, unstable or you have some sort of problem, you're killed.
Oh, you're just
That's pretty
done.
Because we
Deleted.
can't handle having you in
society.
because you could kill everybody.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, in the show, the first couple episodes, there's like everyone has a group of 5, you know, and you know, the episode is going on, and then one of the episodes happens, and then all of a sudden there's 4 kids. They don't explain it at all.
One of them's just gone. All right.
Yeah.
4 now.
But no one knows. You wouldn't notice it if you weren't paying attention, and the kids don't ask about it because like the society is controlled like by what you call it, hypnosis, you know, and subconscious thinking and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So like they try and seal away people's powers is with hypnosis and things like that. And it's fascinating. It's like it's really a really interesting take on human rights and the human. The human thought, you know, it's like
my psychopath essentially, like I think
in a way, yeah. It's I always find the show fascinating, and that's kind of why that's there. It's like it's one of the most interesting shows I've seen that makes me think the most. About
the future
life.
and
like
that's really neat.
Humanity deals with things.
See, like I know
it's a slow burn, but it's
I remember we only
really
watched
gets up
like
there.
up to like the episode where like they're in the village and they're going on a trip, I think, if I recall.
And it's one of the only animes to be based off of a novel.
Like
most things are not
novel?
based off a true novel, just a one-shot book, you know. Yeah, and I've read the novel as well, in addition to the book, and they nail it, like, you know, almost page for page. It's pretty good.
Cool.
So that's from the New World, and that's a one, definitely 100% belongs on my 9x9 or 3x3.
Yeah, you've definitely raved about it.
81 anime.
And then the next one, Gurren Lagann. I mean, it's been so long since I've seen the full show because I always get to episode 5 and then stop.
Yep.
Why do you stop at episode 5?
I know exactly
there's
why.
some things that happen in episode 5, Colton.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the show,
I'm so blind to this show.
I've seen up to
it's a mecha show. I mean, I have a necklace from this show.
Yeah, you do.
That's how much.
That's what should have.
I don't usually
made me
buy
guess.
things that. I mean, Death Note. I guess you can tell that was good.
Yeah.
But like I have a necklace from this show, and as when I watched it, it was very impactful for me, you know, and like how much you just got to push forward, keep moving,
Persevere.
like the drill.
and yeah, you know, do the impossible. I mean, that dude's speeches were the best, and they made no sense, but boy, weren't they filled with like, you know, pride and
Positivity.
let's get it done attitude.
Put this in perspective. I have like between the three of us, right? We've got our little group chat, and I have Sean as what's his name? What's the main
Kazuma? Not Kazuma.
Not Kazuma. That's Konosuba.
Something with a K.
Kazuya.
Something like that.
Whatever
you have him as me. That's funny.
Whatever the freaking awesome guy from Gurren Lagann is, I have him as his like on my contacts list, that's his profile pic.
That's Sean's profile
You should
pic.
put me as
Yep.
Kirito.
Colton is Lelouch, by the
I
way.
am Lelouch.
Kamina. That's his
Kamina,
name.
Thank you. Yeah, and
And the other guy's name was
I
Simone.
think I'm Kazuya between both of you guys
Kazuya.
from Konosuba.
Oh, yeah.
Kazi, yeah.
Yeah, Kazuma.
Yeah, so, I mean-
Lelouch. Yeah.
Lelouch. That's your profile for me. Is.
Yes,
it is.
Lelouch.
I thought my ringtone was also some little lick from the musical score there, wasn't it?
I don't remember. I haven't heard a call in forever. So
Yeah, I think yes, because I've
I
heard that
think that's
ringtone, yeah.
right.
yeah. And so I mean it's just a great show. Twists and turns. It's a mecha anime, which I strangely like. I don't know why. I'm a sucker for those, but I've never seen Gundam. It's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Then Kill la Kill.
Kill la Kill.
Is
Yeah.
I mean I think I'm the only one with this on my list, but Kill la Kill for me was just completely crazy the whole way through.
Yeah.
Cool, I'm not gonna do this now.
Honestly,
Tried calling me.
Yeah.
honestly, looking back, I should have replaced Psychopaths with the Kill la Kill because I feel
Oh, is it that good?
It's that good. It's so
Man, I gotta
it's
get through.
impact.
You gotta watch it.
I do.
I have it in. I have it on. Blu-ray quality as well, and it's like. It's so great. I mean, it's 100%. It's a weird anime.
Oh yeah,
It is very weird.
It's definitely not something I'd recommend somebody who's never seen anime to watch
Yeah.
because it's a bit out there. I got
It's
you
very
in a lot of
anime-y.
scenes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anime-y. It's you could
Gotta
I would
know.
qualify it as ichi if it wasn't so serious all the time.
Yeah. I remember watching a
that's
few
what I love
scenes
about-
and it was
Yeah, that's what I love
It
about
was
Kill la
just-
Kill though is it's ecchi, but at the same time it totally respects like. Okay, well, spoilers, right? Is Ryuko, right? Her power is like she
has to
becomes
strip
like
to
exactly.
get more powerful, right?
I mean, and there's a reason for it too that they reveal
Well,
later.
but
But
is
like,
that
But it
really
totally
a
respects
true
her
reason,
as that,
or is it
as,
just
as
like
the character.
Is that just
but
like
she also like
BS?
hates doing it. You
Well,
know,
at
it's
the
not like
beginning,
oh
and
hey,
at the-
I like this.
But
now.
at the end, she embraces it, right? She embraces
Confident,
her.
yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was great.
I don't know. It's and like I was saying, the soundtrack is
It is
killer.
amazing.
Absolutely
it is
killer.
God tier soundtrack.
Every time I start hearing that main theme,
Don't
like the
lose
first
your
three
way.
notes. Yeah, the first three notes stop on, and I my eyes start tearing
Oh yeah.
up. Like,
oh yeah.
yeah, it hits me hard, that show.
I just
Especially like as I was watching it, not as much, but every subsequent rewatch or hearing the thing, it hits me really hard.
yeah. I know.
And then, I mean, last one's Code Geass, and I think we've already talked about that.
Yeah, we've
quite
talked
a bit.
about it ad infinitum. I'm
it's stellar.
surprised
It's a
that
really good
Attack
show.
on Titan isn't on your list.
Yeah, it was
I'm
Code
genuinely
Geass is
surprised
the
on that.
one that we all shared, not Attack on
Yeah.
Titan. Code Geass was the
Well,
one.
see, I really like Attack on Titan, and it could be on here, but I don't think it's as formative to me as these
I
shows
see.
because these are a lot of these are older shows.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so if I was doing like, I mean, it's even if I was doing like ones I like the most, it might not even be on there. I mean,
What?
but I do really. It's so hard. It's so hard to narrow down with everything I've seen, and I think this gets as close to I can as what's formative and what I really
To be
like
fair,
and
you
enjoy.
worked I think you worked the most out of us. I did mine in about a day or so. I
did
spent
mine in 20 minutes, like right before this podcast. Like, although
Damn it, Colton.
I don't like disagree with my points. I almost put ReZero, but no, I think other shows were better.
The reason I didn't put ReZero is because I feel like when we watched it all together, that was what was like the experience, right? Is that we watched it all together, and especially like season 2, watching it week by
we watched
week.
that together too.
Same thing with Domestic Girlfriend. We watched it all together, and like that was what made the experience, not so much the show itself. And so that's why I try to put like shows that I watched more solo, because that experience was just solo and like me experiencing the show versus us all together watching it, which obviously adds to the experience.
Right.
Definitely.
Is this
I
your...
I wouldn't have watched like Bokurano.
Oh my gosh,
Bokurano
Dude,
was like the
four-
first third was so good. It was like we were like absolutely floored with some of the plot
you were
development.
so fucking drunk.
I was drunk
that
as
night.
shit.
We watched
that show.
Why did you have so much? And
I
you
was
were like
so drunk, man. When we got
and,
to the,
I mean, I was too.
God damn, that was.
I didn't know you guys were that drunk.
I
was all right.
I was
but...
absolutely plastered watching that show, and it was great.
Yeah,
it was
we got to.
great.
Well, it was the one, the blue-haired girl, I think.
The girl that was sleeping with her teacher, and she was in middle school.
And then her sister was sleeping with the same teacher,
that was
and
we
were like, "Oh
yeah,
my gosh!" I remember
wild.
I remember you
were
freaked
like,
the fuck out about that. This is a totally separate thing besides the 3x3s. Still,
that was like one of the most wildest
top 10 anime moments. 3x3s now,
especially that and Domestic Girlfriend. Us watching Domestic Girlfriend was good. Totally, and we got every single time we got I at least got tipsy.
Yeah, that was a good like soapy show where it's
soapbox. Like what's gonna happen
now?
Yeah,
Sean,
thinking back, I wish I did.
So what I put on screen just now was the
alternates,
the picks things I was deciding between to get on the 9x9, and there's a couple others, but these are definitely the hard contenders.
You have Vivi on here, which is it's airing now.
Really?
Right?
No, it finished. A second season was announced, but the first season finished.
Yeah,
I think the second season was
announced.
That's
super. Is it that good?
Yeah. It's on the level for me of like as unique as From the New World.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just so different and I don't know how to describe it. It's different. It's
all right.
Impactful, but like over time, and I really think about
Sean,
it. Sean,
please read out which ones that you've been discussing, because I see one on there that
you see one in particular.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
DxD?
That's High School DxD. Yes,
High School DxD?
So the other ones I was
Jesus
deciding
Christ.
between were Steins Gate, ReZero, One Punch Man, Kaze no Stigma, Vivi, High School DxD, Golden Time, Death Note, and Boku no
Why
Hero.
is DxD on there?
Okay, so
the greatest fan service of all anime.
In addition to having a lot of plot. The show actually has a good plot.
It's pretty good.
Thighs equals
plot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, so I watched this in high school, and it was just an enjoyable show. Like, it was funny. It's a really funny show.
I watched this senior year of college, and I was like, all right, I gotta watch this just to like be cultured.
Just for the meme.
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, I kind of want High School DxD. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds like a good time.
This is that was.
I mean, I've seen all of it.
Oh gosh,
it's pretty. It's it's probably the most out there show. But I've seen a lot of out there shows. But this is probably the best one as far as actual plot goes.
Now, Golden Time, you recommended to me, and you said that
I did.
This is actually a really good show, especially for someone college age, because it deals with that.
It's one of my favorite romance animes ever.
What's that about? I've heard about the show. I've heard of the show, I guess.
Basically it's about this guy who gets into this prestigious college, and the first day, he moves from out in the forests basically to go to school in Tokyo,
from a rural area,
and he doesn't feel like he fits in, and it's basically about him just going to college, and he meets this girl on the first day, and it's his new, and he starts talking to this guy and becomes friends with him, and then meets this girl, and this girl is that guy's ex-girlfriend.
Oh god.
And then, but he's the guy's his friend is trying to make a fresh start. He's like, she's crazy, don't get involved with her, blah blah.
Okay. And he gets involved with her.
And she's kind of crazy. I mean, in the first episode, she's crazy, and like it kind of goes from there. And I really enjoyed it. At first I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I heard it's good, but then as I watch it, it's just, it has such a good story.
And it's good for some like college age where they can like understand, because
and it's college age, which is very rare.
I'm down for that. That sounds like a good show I'd like.
Yeah. All right. And I'm also surprised Boku no Hero is on there. I was like, what?
No, My Hero Academia is on there. I didn't know you liked that show.
I really like it. And the third season, bit iffy, but especially the first season and the second season.
I think the second season is really good.
There's some moments that blew me away in terms of what was happening on screen, like the emotion behind certain things that were being done. That was pretty impactful, I thought. So that's why that was a contender. One Punch Man was just so enjoyable.
Kazuya
Yeah, it was a good
Stigma.
show.
Kazuya Stigma
I
was
was
dope.
like, yeah, when I
'cause
saw
it's
that,
an old show.
I was like, yes, because you recommend that
I
to me.
prefer that in English as well.
Kazuya Stigma in English, yes,
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
Kasunosuga? Oh.
it's a. I don't know how to describe it. Outcast guy comes back and he's just really powerful.
Yeah,
and
he's really
everyone,
powerful. He's
looks
yeah.
down on him, but he's like the
He's
best.
he's
Power
the
fantasy
true
kind of guy.
Sigma.
True Sigma male.
Sigma grind set.
God.
Yeah.
I was telling you guys before we started that I was noticing a pattern from these covers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see now, but a lot of them have redhead girls on them.
Yeah, that's
Okay, Sean.
true.
I thought that was interesting.
That was
Mr. Irish.
interesting. Like, learn something about myself here.
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
You're
Yeah.
right, though.
Well, you got Rias. You got I forget the girl's name from Kazuya Stigma.
Rias is the best girl.
Really?
and there's
You really think Rias is?
not of all time, but like of that show
I'm more of an anime
because it's a
fan.
harem show. So like there's a I don't know. So yeah, that was my 3x3, and then a couple of the ones that I was trying to decide between.
Nice. I like it. What a good time, guys.
Dude. Yeah.
Now we have a lot of
He
extra
actually did remind me of
recommendations
Kazuya. Oh, Kazuya no Stigma is really fun, and it's like one you don't hear about that much.
No one ever talks about
Yeah.
that show,
And it was.
but I think it was very
I
good.
thought so too. Yeah, I'm glad you recommended it to me. I remember watching it back. I think it was sophomore year. I just watched it solo, and I remember binging through it in like 3 days. And yeah, it was fun. He's like wind, right? That's his thing.
Yeah, he formed a contract with the Wind
Yeah.
Spirit, one of the only people to do so. It's
Wow.
like that type of
Yeah.
thing.
Nice.
And he's the air or the wind contractor, and everyone looks. And also, it's with things like everyone looks down upon wind users.
Yeah, except that
Plebeians.
He's like
freaking badass.
and he's like the best. Imagine being like the Avatar state at all times.
Right.
yeah,
With
yeah,
just
yeah.
But
air.
no one thinks you're
I
that
mean, this
good.
dude can do anything.
Oh, man.
And everyone's like never expects him to be good.
He's just... That's power
'cause he's
fantasy
from
in
a
a
clan of
nutshell.
fire users and can never use fire.
Yeah.
So then he went out. He was kicked out of his family, and then formed a contract with the wind people, and then came back, or the wind god, and then he came back, and now he's like the best.
Yes.
No,
Nice.
that was fun. Also, like his look is just totally badass, man. Like the gray, like
His attitude.
yeah. Sigma male, right there.
One of the things that I would have put on, I was thinking about. Was that?
No, I just said Sigma male.
One of the things I was thinking about but didn't put on was Gun X Sword.
Yeah,
Which I don't know if I've ever talked about that
Dude,
to you
I've
guys.
heard
No,
you
we
talk
watched,
about
we
that.
watched like the first 3 or 4 episodes of that together.
We did?
Yeah,
I know that I recommended it, and
we were drunk at your place one night.
I recommend
and we
English
watched
version.
it. Yeah,
Is the best. And that one's super interesting, I think. I watched that relatively early on in my anime watching career.
and it's an old one.
And it was really
too.
good. It's another mecha one, but it's like really iconic characters.
Yeah, I mean, the main guy
main
gives
guy,
me a Spike
the
Spiegel
hat,
kind of guy. Spike Spiegel kind of vibe, right? Was he voiced
I
by the
see.
same
Yeah.
guy too?
That I don't know. Could be.
Yeah.
But great show. So I think those are our
Yeah,
those are our
that's
anime
it. This is a
tastes,
long
basically.
episode, fellas.
This is.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Good episode.
I'm looking at my count right now, and we're at almost over 2 hours in. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
over 2
Yeah,
hours.
we'll our break probably puts us at like 150. But
yeah.
Jeez, yeah.
Damn, son.
hey,
Well,
I mean that just shows we got a lot of say on this.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man.
I'm sure it'll be coming back up in the
Oh,
future.
yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We're not an anime podcast, but we do talk about anime quite a bit, I think.
Well,
We like
just comes
Japan,
up-
I mean,
man. We like
I mean,
Japan.
I kind of what this basis for this podcast was is kind of a foundation of our friendship
Absolutely,
in a way.
Yeah,
So, well, it'll come up a lot
for sure.
For sure.
Absolutely.
and obviously influenced our decision to take a trip to Japan.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to go back so desperately
Same.
and buy
man.
a house in Japan if we can.
Hey,
That's a
50 grand,
totally
I can
different
do
thing.
it.
Yeah.
cheaper houses every day.
Yep.
Ugh.
There we go.
All right. Well,
I have been following that
I think-
specific Instagram though. Damn.
yeah,
There's some awesome deals
it's
out
pretty
there.
good. There's a good stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's good stuff. But I think on that note, we will end the podcast here.
Yeah.
End the episode. Not the podcast. Oh, no,
The
not yet.
podcast stops
Just the
here.
episode.
Yeah.
So this has been Almost a Podcast. We'll definitely get there one day.
One day, man. Soon.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
I think
Peace
it's
out,
soon.
guys.
Bye. Hey everyone, it's Colton here. Thanks a bunch for tuning into this episode of Almost a Podcast. If you liked what you heard, please consider supporting us by leaving a review and following or subscribing to our podcast channel on whatever platform you might be listening on. Right now, the boys and I are planning on a weekly release schedule to post a new episode every Wednesday, so hopefully I'll see you all back then. Peace.